So 21. One of the great things about real estate, guys, is just simply having an acquisitions manager. Now, your acquisitions manager should also be a licensed realtor. It should be basically a buyer's agent who is kind of married to you. They're out there searching for properties. They're out there searching for deals just for you. And the beautiful thing about real estate is they're free. Buyer's agents get paid by the seller. Okay? Now, everybody says, well, you know, these realtors are so lazy and they're not willing to put in multiple offers for me. Well, if you want to find a good buyer's agent, you have to find agents that are investor friendly. Okay, good places to find these buyer's agents. Number one is IDX. And number two is HUDHomestore.com. Go to HUDHomestore.com. Go to HomePath.com. Go to HomeSteps.com. Go to Auction.com. Go to Zillow. Go to Trulia. Find the realtors that are advertising in those websites. Because your average lazy, non-performing realtor doesn't do any of that marketing. And you don't want to work with those people. You want to work with the agents that are marketing themselves, marketing their business. So go to those different resources, reach out and find those realtors that are willing to put in multiple offers. We work with 3 buyer's agents right now. One of them is a guy named Rob Russell. We've been working with Rob for 5 years, and Rob has been a realtor for 35 years. Now, Rob is absolutely willing to put in 15, 25, 35 offers, written offers, to get one profit check. He doesn't care. He's not lazy. He's not afraid of paperwork. He's not allergic to money. So every single one of you should have a buyer's agent. There's no excuse. For example, we bought 46 Victor Avenue. We didn't find this property. Our buyer's agent found it for us. 46 Victor Avenue was listed for $60,000. We bought it for $37,000. It was owned by the Ohio Teamsters Credit Union. It wasn't on the MLS. It wasn't listed in some crazy place. It was owned by the Ohio Teamsters Credit Union, like Jimmy Hoffa type stuff, right? It was foreclosed on, and our buyer's agent, Rob Russell, located the property, brought it to us. We bought it for $37,000. We put about $35,000 into it, and we sold it for $117,000. Okay, got to have an agent who's in your corner, who's constantly looking for properties for you. Number 22, short sale investors and agents, right? Now, there's specific investors and realtors and attorneys that really make their living focusing on short sales. Guys, I've flipped over 400 short sale properties. Okay? These short sales investors, agents, and attorneys focus almost exclusively on working on pre-foreclosure properties. Usually in these cases, the property's in pre-foreclosure, it's over-leveraged, the house is worth $150,000, but they owe $200,000 on it. And the house is listed, it's either listed with the realtor or it's off market. And an offer is made, okay? But it takes 3 or 4 months for that buyer to hear back, so they walk away. Then this happens multiple times, and the asking price keeps getting reduced, and reduced. Now, within our mastermind and our highest level training and coaching program, we have a couple, okay, it's Jeff and Julia Capel, and they do about 50 pre-foreclosure and short sale flips a year, focusing exclusively on this one marketing and acquisition strategy. They find the properties at the courthouse. For example, 3331 Marmore Avenue is a property I found they owed $130,000 on it. We got a contract on it. I made a lowball offer for $33,000. We were able to buy it for $33,000. The bank agreed to a short sale. We quickly wholesaled it for $55,000, and I walked away with over $19,800 of net profit. Guys, here's the beautiful thing. These pictures you see on your screen here, these are the before and the after photos. I didn't do anything to it. Okay, I actually put about $800 into it. That's it. We had to update the electrical. We had to put a ceiling fan in. You had to clean the house out, a couple of things. Sold it for $55,000. Made a profit. Chris, are you doing any pre-foreclosure marketing right now or doing anything in the short sale arena?
We don't do a ton of short sales, but we're always actively marketing for pre-foreclosures. We get a list of all the pre-foreclosures in our market or all the upcoming auctions and whatnot, and we send them mail before they go to foreclosure. So we definitely are always marketing.
Absolutely, guys. And here's another tip with short sales and pre-foreclosures. Now, there's a lot of other investors, mortgage brokers, realtors, attorneys who market to pre-foreclosures and short sales. I've been in houses where the homeowner had an entire trash bag of just direct mail. And so instead of actually sending the mail, what I'll say is I'll call them up on the phone. Now, guys, a good night to call people to follow up on your direct mail is Monday night, Friday during happy hour, and Saturday morning. Okay, definitely don't call on Wednesdays. That's usually church night for a lot of people. So Monday, Friday, and Saturday morning. And instead of sending out the mail, I'll save myself the cost of the mail and I'll just say, hey, my name is Josh Cantwell. I'm calling from Yellow Jacket Properties, and I was calling about your house. I saw that the bank is giving you a hard time about the property. We've been sending you mail about the house. Now, sometimes we don't even send the mail. So kind of a little bit of a white lie, I guess. But sometimes we don't even send the mail because there's so much other mail, they've probably thrown our mail away. But because I took the extra step to make the phone call, all right? And guys, we have a specific script for this. If there's enough interest in this, this training, we'll give you guys the script. But there's a specific script that we use, and we call, and people say, well, look, I got all this mail, but you're only the second person who called. Nobody ever called. Okay, strategy number 23. 365 days on market. Okay? Have your realtor search all the properties in the MLS that have been on the market for at least 365 days. And just make an offer at 50% of the asking price. Okay, I don't care if it's a retail house. I don't care if it's a foreclosure. I don't care if it's a short sale. If it's been on the market for a year, and there's definitely, guys, lots of properties that have been on the market for a year, just go make an offer at half price. If the house has been on the market for a year, that homeowner is just dying for any kind of offer. Just any kind of offer. And it will at least get them open to negotiating. They might not take your offer at the beginning, or they might. Okay? Number 24, expired listings. Okay? Have your buyer's agent pull the listings that are on the MLS that are recently expired. Now, what I like to do is take the expired listings and bump the expired listings up against the short sales. Because if somebody's in a short sale scenario and they have an expired listing, it means that they're in pre-foreclosure, they're about to lose their house, but they also have tried to list and sell their house and it expired and they never got an offer. Or they never got a good enough offer. So they have pressure coming from two different directions. They have a short sale and a foreclosure going on. So they're over leveraged. They're facing a foreclosure and they've tried to sell it and it didn't sell. Okay, all those different scenarios. Okay, next is pocket listings. Now, Chris now owns and works with his dad inside of their own brokerage. They actually are not only investors, but they're also licensed realtors. I used to also own my own real estate brokerage, and we sold about 500 houses for clients, over about a 5-year period. Plus, we sold a bunch of our own houses. Now, everybody will tell you that there are realtors that list bank-owned houses, REOs, auction houses, HUD homes, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac inventory, and somehow, some way, those properties never end up on the MLS. and they get sold before they're listed. And you wonder, how did that happen? Guys, that's called a pocket listing. Those are pre-market or pre-MLS listings when a real estate agent is about to list a property and they go to their preferred client list first. I guarantee this is happening in California. I guarantee this is happening in Dallas. I guarantee this is happening in Nashville, Florida, New York, New Jersey. Pocket listings, pre-market listings, pre-MLS listings. Okay? Now, how do you get in the good graces of these real estate agents? First of all, what you need to do, find out who in your market are the top foreclosure listing agents. People that sell bank-owned inventory and HUD homes and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac properties. Who gets the bank-owned inventory? I guarantee those guys have a roster of investors that they send the properties out to even before they go on the MLS. You know how I know? Because I used to do this. My buddy Scott Miller at Miller Lane up in Seattle, he does this. He gives his preferred clients preferred access to the property before it goes on the MLS. Now, what do you need to do to get in the good graces of somebody who gives pocket listings or pre-market inventory? Well, you got to be able to close. You have to have cash, or you have to have access to funding like freelance lending. That's the only way to get in their good graces. They're not going to let you monkey around and goof off and mess up their closings. So you got to have access to cash. So you got to have access to the inventory. You got to know who those listing agents are. And then you got to have access to cash. And you got to be able to close. The only way for you to get into that pre-market, pre-MLS, pocket listing good graces of a realtor is have cash to close. Now, my buddy Darren Mancuso, sometimes I'm baffled at how he gets some of his properties because he gets them before they ever hit the MLS. I know for a fact, even though Darren may not admit it, I know for a fact that Darren's getting pre-market pocket listings. Now, why has Darren earned the right to get those listings? It's because Darren can close. Darren can get deals he can close. Okay, next is referrals. Chris, probably over the last 7 years for you and for your dad, you've probably been referred to countless properties. So how do you set it up for yourself, Chris, where you're consistently getting referrals and you're the top-of-mind reference and top-of-mind referral person for people who can refer you properties, whether it's the postman, whether it's a wholesaler, whether it's another realtor, whether it's a friend or a family member? How do you become that top-of-mind referral source for them?
Over time, it is repetition or reputation. Just people know what you do. They know that you're actually legit and you know that you close. But when starting out, especially me, when I was starting out, I handed out business cards to everyone. I would tell everyone what I was doing, even when I wasn't really doing anything, or not doing the volume that we were doing. But every person you come into contact with needs to know what you do. They need to have a business card, and they need to know what exactly you're looking for. So that's where I think that's, especially in the beginning, that's what you need to do. And you need to tell your family members, hey, if you see anything, if you know anybody, let me know. And then over time, I haven't given out a business card, or very few in the past couple of years, but over time people see that you're legit, they know what you do, and your phone just rings with people calling and saying, hey, I have this property. Just like this Locust one here. This was from another realtor in our market. She knows us, knows what we do. The clients that were going to sell this property, a property that they fell in love with, just came on the market. So they made an offer on it and they got it accepted. But in order to buy that house, they needed to get their house sold. So this realtor called us up. We were able to structure the deal where we would close a week before they were required to close on their new house. That way, giving them time to, they'll close that one out, they'll get the money or whatnot from them, have it all, and then be ready to close on their new house. And we gave them a little bit of time to move from their old house to the new house. So that's where that realtor knew that in order for them to sell this house, they needed somebody like us. They needed a real estate investor to get rid of this house because they couldn't even qualify for the loan unless this house and whatever loan they had on this property was gone. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, just putting yourself out there and saying, I have access to money, bring me deals. I have access to properties I can close, bring me deals. Some other ways to get deals, guys, that are off market and they're free. The Real Estate Investor Association, every single one of you has a association in your market. You pay a small membership fee, a few $100 a year, or $3, $5, $10 at the meeting, and you go to the local courthouse. Especially, guys, there's a lot of newbies there that do not have access to cash, so they want to be wholesalers. Well, if you have access to cash or you have money from Freeland that we can close your deal for you, okay, or you have private money or bank-owned financing, or you have a partner that you can bring. There's lots of newbies there that want to wholesale properties. Attorneys, every single month I get leads from some of my attorneys that say, hey, I'm working through a probate deal. Hey, I'm working through a divorce. Hey, I'm working through a real estate transaction that fell through or a bankruptcy. Here's a couple properties. Can you take a look at these and make an offer? Right? I got this deal closed at 9760 Ridge Road. This was referred to me by an attorney. He was working with this lead. The people owed almost $200,000 on it. It was a short sale. We were able to negotiate a short sale and buy it for $76,000. We renovated it for $15,000. We got $100,000 of private money. We got $24,000 cash back at closing when we bought it. And I was able to put $9,000 in my pocket when I bought it. I made more money on this deal than the attorney did through his referral, through the wholesaler. Then I sold this property. I fixed it up. I got a bank loan on it, cashed out my private lender. I sold this thing on lease option 4 different times over 4 different years. I got nearly $41,000 in lease option fees. And I cashed out and made a $34,000 net profit for a total of $75,000 in net profit.